But the one thing I would definitely do is make sure I show up for no matter what goes on. And I would never let a court date come up without me uh, filing appropriate documentation and or without me making sure I had a court reporter present for whatever that may be. Never, I would never, and I mean this for everybody, ever go to any hearing without a court reporter. And apparently, the guys are starting to use them a little bit more. You want to make sure that you can provide a record for appeal along the way. Any other questions?
I was probably going to say for the second part, that the gentleman raised a question about the license. I'm assuming that's usually the result of probably a missed payment or non-payment. I think one of those things you probably want to look at in that case is the validating the amount and things like that, of that nature to bring up as far as questions. I don't know if there's been a show cause or whatnot, but I just thrown it out there because he didn't give too much details about that.
Right. I see. So I see what you're saying. In other words, if it's an issue of your license is missing a payment, your contention that the license's missed payment is based upon an improper order, you might want to get out in front of it. Otherwise, the order is good until it is deemed not good. Unless you're arguing that the order is absolutely void, which is what came up from our brother in South Carolina. So if you're saying if your argument is the order is not good at all because the court didn't perform those functions, you got to make sure you find all that says the court's failure to perform those functions in and of itself would make the order void.
Right. Okay.
Otherwise, it may just be voidable. And again, that's not legal advice. Of course, I would seek an attorney to be legal advised. And if I didn't say it in the beginning, I say nothing disparaging at all about attorneys on the show. So, anybody else have any questions, thoughts, comments? Dale does. Daly does. Daly.
I think I had one just in general. If you could just kind of elaborate on it. For example, in my case, where one of my cases, I have equal custody with the mom, but she's on public assistance. So the state intervenes on her behalf, right? And I remember asking this from the judge because I think one time they said I didn't serve them, and I asked why am I serving them, and they're saying, well, they're providing a service to her, which I'm trying to understand because this is a me versus her case. And if she needs help, what does that got to do from the state? What does that have to do with me?
So what's the question?
So the question is, the state is an intercessor in my case. On what grounds? And I guess as soon as I'm asking it, I'm already realizing how I could go look for the answer myself. But on what grounds does the state has to intervene in the case?
That way, look, that's the issue that you would have to go to your state's constitution, statute, administrative code, whatever it is that they're using to justify the interference. The larger question is, does your state have a specific provision in their constitution that prohibits state interference in a person's private life, like in Article 1, Section 23 of the Florida Constitution? Does your state have a specific provision that may say that they and the state can't do that? And the state is also the agency is the state, for those who don't know. So if it says the Montana Department of Social Services, when they say the Montana Department of Social Services, they're also saying the state of Montana, and whatever it may be, for what have you.